Good morning. And this is Kimberley Buckler with Spirit and Soul Healing here in Cochrane, Alberta. It's September 10th, 2019. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had amazing opportunities. One is getting the process of my third book into publishing, and really grateful to got that far with it, and very excited to see the results. Another wonderful thing that's happened for me was an opportunity to work with a child that has autism. Now, I've done this video a few times and I realized as I went, I need to be very discreet with information in it, and to be very careful how I share the information. This person and the mother are very magical, and they provide me with an opportunity that I've been looking forward to for a very, very, very long time. So what I'm going to try to do is share the highlights of it and share what I learned. I work at a place where I have very little exposure to people that have autism, what we would call mental development difficulties. And when they come in, I always hand them a special crystal, or a piece of hematite to help keep them grounded, because I know they're very connected to the energies around them and very sensitive. So as being an empath and knowing empath and being very sensitive to the energies around me, to knowing that I'm very connected to the different realms, I can pick up the energies of people around me. What I have learned to do to be able to help myself out has been very magical. And I get to share this as I go along with my clients and people I bump into. Now, a child that has autism is on a different level as to, through my experience of working with them, they see things a lot differently than we do, and they can get stuck into an emotional state of being, and sometimes it's very hard for them to come out of it. But what I'm going to do is quickly share some of the things that I got to experience and the magic of what we got to see happen. So right away, this young person got up on the table, and I was quite surprised, very trusting. Got up on the table and was ready to go, and I asked if they'd been exposed to energy work before, or he, and he said yes, and I said he had his chakras worked on. And I said, okay. I said, what I would like to do is I have a Tibetan bowl, and I pulled out my Tibetan bowl. It's behind me on the shelf. And I got it going, and you like the sound of it. So what I did was, I said to him, can you please let me know where you feel the energy of this bowl as I will bring it over you. And I slowly took it from his head, had the bowl going from his head all the way down to his feet. And the whole time he felt it in his tummy all 3 times. So I thought that was pretty neat. I says, well, let's try something else. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my hands over your body, and I'm going to do energy work. And start at the head and slowly brought my hands all the way down his body, but very slowly. And I said, please let me know where you feel this. So we start off head, 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 heart, tummy, heart, head, tummy. And he went like that throughout the whole time I did it. And I went over the body 3 times. No, I did it a little bit differently. I went from the head all the way down to the legs. And then after a bit, I said, okay, thank you. I says, that's amazing how you feel the energy in your body. And we started talking about different things as we did the energy work. And and asked him if he believed in dragons and fairies and stuff like that. Talked about that for a little bit. And during that conversation, it got a little bit to the heavy side where I could see a bit of anger coming out, and I explained to this young person that where the anger was coming from, maybe the person didn't understand. And that's why they lashed out or had done something that made this young person angry. And I said, we need to show forgiveness and always to be in the heart center. And I said, sometimes when I have a hard time getting something out of my mind or stopping the negative chitter chatter, I close the door within my mind and I lock it up. And all of a sudden it becomes really quiet for me. And that way my energy feels a lot better. So we went over that, finally got away from that conversation, and then the mother mentioned something else. She mentioned an animal and asked for the child to tell me about this animal, and they told me, and I says, okay. And the child was quite nervous about it. I said, and he explained the things that he saw with this animal and the things that he did to protect himself. I said, okay, you know what? What we can do is we can have Archangel Michael look after this animal for you so it doesn't scare you anymore. And I said, what I'm doing right now is wrapping the animal up in white light. And he still saw the animal bits on the ears. I said, okay, we're going to cover the ears right up. And young person calmed down a little bit. I said, well, Archangel Michael's going to look after this animal for you. And as we went along, he still kept on bringing up the animal, and I kept on doing the energy work. So I tried my best to change the conversation because I realized it was really hard for this person to come out of it and come out of that state of being angry. And now I'm thinking about it, and I think we can all do that where we have a hard time shifting. So towards the end, I think I'd been doing energy work for about half an hour, 45 minutes. We had stopped and he was quite still upset. And the mother said, that's interesting because we've talked about this before. He's never been this upset. And she said he could be a bit raw too because of all the energy work. Because I know when we're doing receiving energy, it reaches our bodies in so many different levels. And I was doing a lot of yawning during the session. So I knew this young person was releasing the energy, stuff that had been built up. What I did was hand him my crystal to hold on to. It's my smoky quartz that I really love and was gifted with. And he held on to that and calmed down. And I pulled out a wooden hand that I have that's filled with crystals. The black tourmaline, the white selenite, and the blue kyanite. And those are my favorite three go-tos for a lot of clients. The black tourmaline is really good for dispelling, transmuting negative energy. It's also a very good grounding crystal. The white selenite is very good for helping to keep our vibration up. It helps to clear my body when I feel like I'm in a little bit of a funk. And it also helps to keep the black tourmaline clear. The blue kyanite is amazing for us who are empaths or those who are autistic or those who are labeled as being schizophrenic, as it helps to put a little bit of a cloak on top of us. Instead of feeling things like this, it helps to bring it down a bit. We're still connected to what's going around us, but not feeling it as strongly. It also works with all our chakras and helps to work with our throat. So I asked the young person if mom could have three crystals too, and he said yes. So we had mom pick out three of the crystals too. At the end, I talked to the mother for a bit. Because during the session I mentioned I wonder if this animal was a animal spirit or a totem animal, and she asked, "What is this about totem animals and guardian angels? Can you explain that?" So I explained to her that a lot of times what happens in life, because we get scared or we get mad, we'll push our guardian angel away and won't have anything to do with them. or a totem animal push them away. And they're both there for to help us out. I know I've got an amazing guardian angel that saved my hiney several times because I've asked for help, and they've been right there with me. Same with the animals. The animal spirits, they can help us out tremendously in so many different ways. And I said, when we push them away, then they stay in the background and they're not able to help us out as much. So I thanked her for bringing her child with her, for the amazing opportunity for me to work with an autistic child and to see the patience and the love a parent has for these children, and for the love that these children have for their parents. It was a very humbling experience. About 10 minutes later, 10, 20 minutes later, the mother phoned and said, hey, um, the young one has a question to ask you. And she said, the person had yelled out the window, talking to this animal, spirit animal, and saying sorry. And the young person said to me on the phone, how do I bring this animal back? And I said, sweetheart, I think you already did. I said, you were sorry and you apologized to the animal for thinking it was there to scare you. And then at the same time, you wanted the animal to come back. And I believe that animal's going to be there with you. So the mother said thank you. And she said, I think we just had a very magical ending to the day. That the child was no longer scared and really wanted that animal with them. So as an empath, and those of us that are autistic, or those of us that might be labeled as schizophrenic, or the tendencies, we have so many things here that can help us out on a day-to-day basis to learn the new skills, and to learn the skills that help us to go cope from one thing to another, to help us to release the anger and the fear that we hold into us, and know that we have support around us. I thank you, a huge thank you to this wonderful parent and the child for what they brought forward to me. A reminder to you to take good care of you, because you really do deserve it. And to please remember that you are a beautiful soul within. If you have a chance, please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and share it if you can. And you can find me at Spirit Soul Healing and EssentialsForNaturalHealing.com. Thank you very much, and have a magical day.